I'm not going to be able to use unless I want 2 fire types, and that's going to bug the shit out of me. And I'm not putting Fuecoco in the box, so I get to lose out on these fucking cool Mega Man characters.
You lost me. What are you talking about?
Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez. With me today is my good old friend J.E.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. Yeah, so Pokemon's coming soon. There's these Pokemon that look... What happens is people fall in love with them, but it's like another Lucario. Like a humanoid-looking Pokemon that looks like it's part of the Mega Man universe.
Oh, so you're talking about the new Pokemon they announced. That's kind of like the pseudo legendary. It's not the legendary, but it's like kind of legendary.
Yeah. Or it's like the one that you get that they give to you and it's super dope.
Just like the really strong Pokemon. Like it's like Mewtwo from the original. It's like,
but it's more like Lucario or like Metagross or Dragonite or something like that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's the red Gyarados type of thing.
Yes, yeah, where you're just like, this is fucking dope.
They just give you an OP Pokemon like after the 3rd gym. They're just like, here is a super unique.
And it's like
when you get the fossils each game.
And it's like the answer to all your prayers. Like all you need is maybe that guy, your starter, and the bird Pokemon. You know, just the bird. Whatever pigeon you pick up on the first route, you take all those 3.
Do you really keep that bird for the whole journey? I usually get rid of it after it gets its 3rd evolution.
I traded in for the dragon. So like right at Victory Road, after it's carried me all the way through, I'll find like the dragon right before the end of the game. And I'm like, I'm going with him. We know he's going to amount to a lot. He's got a lot of potential. It's a dragon.
I don't know if you finally understood how I play mainline Pokemon games, because you haven't seen me play a lot to completion, because you've only seen me do Sword and Shield and Let's Go. But Let's Go is a known quantity since I know all the Pokemon and I know them pretty well. Even to the point I know some when they evolve still. Like my memory still has some of that ingrained in here. But when I play Pokemon, and especially a new mainline game that I don't know what Pokemon are in there, especially nowadays where every Pokemon's new to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that new Pokemon that looks like an ice bear with icicle for boogers, and you're like, oh no, that's an old Pokemon. I was like, oh well, I'm using him because he looks cool.
Oh yeah. I that one I felt bad because you're like, I only want new Pokemon, and I'm like, well. Yeah.
I just pick Pokemon I think are cool looking, and I do not care for typing. I do not care for any of that. I'm just like, let me just get all the cool. One time I had like 3 Ghost Pokemon because I love Ghost Pokemon.
See, I can't do that. It bothers me.
It bothers me sort of, but it doesn't really because they all look cool.
But in Pokemon, technically, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, you're fucking stronger than everyone. It doesn't matter.
You're not going to encounter someone so difficult that you have to sit there and think, man, I have to make a team just for them. Yeah. That will never happen.
Yeah, 100%. Especially now with like dual typings and stuff. There's always like something that works through the cracks.
Dude, what I hate is like, I love normal type Pokemon when it's just normal types, but if you try to combine them with any other type, all of a sudden it sucks.
Yeah, they're just weird.
Like I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
But those are not the Pokemon types we were talking about today. Today we are creating something new. Every week, We Are Not Game Devs. On We Are Not Game Devs, we imagine a brand new video game idea from our minds. Join in on the fun, be creative, and if you have a unique idea or want to patch ours, write into @poundgames@gmail.com. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 2222 IP. Let's begin with this basic concept. You're going to be a humanoid type of alien on a planet. You're going to be growing up and looking at the stars. Then the first part of the game is going to be you doing kind of a survival game where you're gathering parts and killing different species with weapons to gather the parts. After you gather the parts, you make a spaceship. When you make a spaceship, you blast off into space. And the next part of the game is it's going to be kind of a linear game. And you're just going to go from place to place following this alien's adventure.
Cool. You're making Spore. Spore.
Almost.
Spore is great. Did you play Spore?
No, but I watched a retrospective about Spore.
Spore was
Spore was a
awesome.
game that I thought was made for me, and then for some reason I couldn't get my hands
Nah,
on it.
dude, Spore was fucking great. It had this great fishy mode where you started, and then it had this great like survival hunter gatherer mode, and then all of a sudden you're playing Civilization. It was amazing. Anyway, continue.
So I want to make it linear around this character, where you're then going in space and the survival aspect's going to be much more toned down, where there's going to be merchants that sell parts for your spaceship and you can upgrade your spaceship to fly faster. And then you're going to have a story mode where it's following this guy or girl. It's actually not, there's no gender here, it's an alien. And it's just their adventure. So they're going to do a spaceship, and then after they get a spaceship, they find out about main hub city, or they get stuck in traffic and the traffic goes into a main hub city. At the main hub city, they find somebody to work for. When they work for that person for enough time, there's going to be a mission that makes it where they get drafted into mercenaries. Then they're going to be doing mercenary work. You know what I'm saying? So it's just going to keep going like that. What do you think?
I like how it starts. I think the second half can be tweaked a little bit. The way I see this game working is it could go twofold. The first way I see it working is more of like a outer worlds situation where you have your planet, you build your spaceship, and then you go up, and then the story leads you. While you're up, you find out, oh, I didn't pack enough fuel. We have to stop at the next nearest moon or planet or whatever. And then you land, and then you're stuck there for a while. You got to do a couple jobs, and you got to gather and
that would be better. Yeah, if you just started running out of the fuel source and then you crane down onto another planet.
That is the first way we could go about it. The second way we go about it is a much more miniature version of No Man's Sky, where instead of having the whole universe, you have one solar system, and so you don't ever get a hyperdrive. But now you could see all the planets in the galaxy, and if you just go not light speed, but I guess you have a hyperdrive, you don't have light speed. You could get from planet to planet pretty quickly. You could also mine stuff, and then there's like maybe we'll have the Skyrim compass in space where you could like discover like abandoned space shuttles in space and like mining asteroids and stuff like that, and random encounters while you're flying in space. And then you can land and do all that stuff. Kind of more like Kingdom Hearts though, where you have all the space exploration, but when you get close to a planet, you automatically land in like a specific dock, not like No Man's Sky where you make an entire fucking planet. You land at a very specific place, and then from there you go and explore. We could go both ways. I don't know if you want space travel and like to discover stuff while you're flying in space, or if you want it like Outer Worlds where you just go from place to place to place to place.
I like the stuff where you discover stuff in space too. Like that's fine. I think you can do small stuff like that, or even have it where it'd be great if one, as we're going from level to level, maybe we do have a space level where your spaceship crashes into this asteroid. And what you find is this asteroid is like a ship graveyard, but for spaceships. So tons of people have crashed in, and that's where you got to salvage more gear from other ships to upgrade yours. Do you want there now? This is where I'm kind of questioning and teetering on. Do we want there to be like violence? Do we want them to have weapons per se?
Right. Yeah, I think there could be like light third person shooting mechanics in it. Maybe we can make it just so we don't get into that Fallout problem where the shooting is just so not good that you need to do that. Maybe to work around that, what we'll do is these guns are kind of like the smart weapons from Cyberpunk, where their futuristic guns here, they just auto aim, and you just kind of have to. Maybe we can make it so there's a target thing, and then it's like a Z lock, like in Zelda, and you just Z lock on who you want to target, and then the bullets automatically travel and shit like that. We could have like a different way of targeting that isn't VATS, but is cool and futuristic. So it'll be like you could lock on and then press R1 and L1 to switch to cycle through all the visible targets in your area, and then all the bullets just automatically travel that way. And then you could upgrade your gun as well. I see the upgrade thing becoming more of a focus because you started off as a scavenger building a ship survivor type of game. So I think that mechanic has to carry through the entire game. So I think the whole point of the game is while you're doing stuff, as rewards, people will give you like ship parts, or they'll even give you blueprints and be like, hey, I have this blueprint to make your ship be able to go even faster. Here's a blueprint for it. Or I have a blueprint that could upgrade your gun so you could reload quicker, or not reload, but it reheats faster so you can shoot another wave of bullets and stuff like that. And so the whole game would be you earning parts or blueprints to use more parts to build stuff. And then there's also like we can make it so it's like instead of you going out and looking for parts, which you can do, I think we could have it so there's like a bounty board where it's like these are places that need to go get scavenged. And these could be like random events that happen, like randomly generated areas where it's like at this location in space there's an asteroid where a lot of ships have crashed onto. If you land there, you could probably get a lot of salvage, but be wary of wild animals and stuff like that. And then you land, you can find a whole bunch of parts, and then you bring them back and either sell them or craft items for blueprints that you've been waiting to build and stuff like that.
I think this is a great idea, and I think we can make the progression of this game where you upgrade your ship, and then maybe there's some unique objects that you get during chapter endings, like not objects but upgrades, such as a droid. And then we had talked about it earlier, but what about adding some like auto drones? So then you have auto drones that can be used in your spaceship and also in your travels. Will they automatically target aggressive creatures and attack?
Yeah, and I think some of them could be even like you could have maybe up to 2 different drones equipped, one that is offensive and one that is supportive in some way. So one could either heal you, or you could have one where it'll find like rare parts that you might have missed otherwise, and it'll like lead you towards them, stuff like that.
Or act as a radar for enemies too.
Yeah, exactly. And you could choose which ones that you want to take with you and you need specific parts to build these drones and stuff. Like I like that idea. And we can make them look cool. Like we can make them look like what's the droid from Jedi Fallen Order called? BB-1?
Okay, I was thinking about we can make them like little transformers where they have a battle form and then they have like a regular normal form where they're walking with you, or animal form, what have you.
Well, I think they would we would create them like in Star Wars where there's like the astromech bot, and then there's like the bot that is like the what's C3PO called, but then we'll have like all different types of drones, and each of them have a specific job. So if you always have the radar drone, it's going to look like a little R2D2, you know what I mean, with a little antenna on its head. If you always have like some kind of offensive drone, it's always going to look like a little tank or something like that, like a gonk droid or something.
Yeah. And I think it would be cool if these drones also could get their own upgrades where they slowly start looking different and looking cooler.
And I think you could paint them and like choose cosmetics for them now, if you want to. Like that.
What if we make it even deeper where there's different trees that you can go to with the drones? So like maybe the radar drone can hone in on enemies better, or treasure, or do half and half.
Yeah. I like that. Like make it so you have drones that are specific for specific jobs that you like.
Yeah. The offensive drone can either get better attack or auto loot for you.
Well, I think if you attack drones, it would be easier if we just have it like this one shoots machine guns, or this one has rocket launchers, or this one has a laser type of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about just the upgrade trees for each. You can make them more offensive or make them more like, oh, they can loot for you. They can hold loot for you, kind of thing. I don't know. Just an idea there. I could see this going a bunch of different ways where we can still have that story where we're going to different places, but then like it's hands off, but hands on when it needs to be at pivotal moments where it won't feel where you'll think that you're just taking up a normal mission and then boom, story happens. Or maybe you get stuck inside a trash compactor for a while. Or you accidentally wander into a part of space that was cloaked and now you're in a new planet. But you were trying to do a mission and then now you're trying to get out.
Yeah. I feel like how the story missions will kind of play out, though, would maybe feel in line as the same way that Skyrim or Outer World quests work, where you could just have a whole bunch just lined up that you're just doing, but you could put them all on pause. It doesn't really matter when you do them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then like in Skyrim and Oblivion, most of the time it's just in-game people just saying words. You know what I mean? It's not so much cutscenes and stopping gameplay and wait for this cutscene to end. It's usually just dialogue options and choices. Which in this game, I'm assuming we're just gonna have a fake.
Yeah, like just a different. You did that really well, actually. Different language like that, alien language with subtitles. I think that's great, and I think there's going to be a couple different job postings and stuff where maybe you have to go and speak to the owner of that job to get more information. So that'll take you to places like farms, cities, merchant stalls, clubs, bars. Um, I'm trying to decide if we want to make it just seedy or maybe not, because I've never seen. You never visit a school or see like little childlings or anything.
That's true, but I feel like in this world where people just seem to be scavengers, I don't think there are schools. I think you just
Yeah,
go
you're
from
just
planet
kind
to
of
planet
living.
picking up shit to use for other shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Bleak way of space life, man.
Very true. Maybe you get swallowed into a black hole. That's probably maybe the last act or something. You get swallowed into a black hole, and then that's how you get light speed, as you need it to get out of the black hole.
Mm, mm. Or it's the beginning of the story. You get stuck into the black hole and you get stranded in a brand new galaxy with nothing and you don't know how to survive, and then you find out, hey, if you build
What
a
if it's a
ship.
time loop? What if it's the beginning and the end of the story? Wouldn't that
Mm,
suck? Like you're like, what? Another black hole? Oh man. Oh no, it spit him out right at oh. Oh. What happened? No, I don't think that'd be satisfying for the players. I
no,
like
do
that as the
it.
beginning
Fuck
of the
it.
story.
That's the end of the game. He gets sucked into a black hole and then he's right where he started. And it's
And
a
then
time
that's where
loop.
and then you just see them like the crash as credits roll, and you just see the alien like slowly like trying to get out and then like extinguishing the fire, finds out that the ship's ruined, and then as the credits end it starts exactly on the title screen where the alien's sitting down on the ground and it just says new game plus.
I like that. I like it. That's good.
All right, so we got something here. Is there going to be enemies that are going to be attacking or anything like that? Like or we're I think it's just going to be hazards and general creatures, not like a mercenary federation or anything, but maybe just some rogue
You don't think there's
actors.
going to be any pirate action?
I think there's going to be like pirates and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe. And the way that we're going to be able to identify them is probably like their flag, space
Yeah, or
flag.
they'll have like a big hat on, big red hat.
There we go, a big red hat. All right, what kind of sounds are we hearing in this game? I don't think we're hearing very many sounds, if at all.
Really? I wanted to. I mean, it's just because I think the best space sim game with the best soundtrack was No Man's Sky, hands down. And it just makes you feel just so fucking cool playing No Man's Sky with like this and then like fucking electric guitars and synths and shit.
There's that too. I was thinking about that, or like just a band playing music.
I mean, that's No Man's Sky. It's a 5-piece band or whatever, and they just fucking jamming, playing some crazy synth and electric guitar. But the thing about No Man's Sky, that music gets really intense sometimes. I think it's gonna be like that, but way chill.
Yeah, way more chill.
Not as many low toms, because in No Man's Sky, there's a lot of
no war drums needed. Yeah, we don't need those. Pricing. What are we willing to pay here? I'm thinking
it depends on how it looks, because this game could look like No Man's Sky, or it could look like Risk of Rain 2.
I want it to look good. I want the game to look good. I want the droids to look good.
Okay, then $60-$70.
Yeah, let's do $70. Let's make these things look great. What would be awesome is that, like, if we really got down to doing HDR shit, so at this game in space, you could really tell the blackness and the light shining through. All right, Jay, get your timer out because we're going to name this game.
Go. Black Hole.
Black Hole it is.
In 7 seconds. 7:34.
Black Hole is a I guess you would call it a survival adventure game where you play as an alien stranded on a planet who has to find a way off. By finally building a spaceship, you find that you have to keep maintaining that spaceship to fly your way around the galaxy. Collect parts, build drones, upgrade your ship, and fly in Black Hole. All right, Jay, I think we have a game here. What do you think? Would this be a fun game, and would you play it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a shot, see if the game loop is good, because I feel like it's a game that focuses very much heavily on the loop of it, of going out, taking up bounties, and going to go find parts to build and make yourself better. And if it nails that, I think it could be a fun time.
You're right. Thinking about it now, I'd want to play it, and I don't know, we'd have to nail the vibe and the gameplay loop completely. Like, so it should feel good to go get the parts, and then it should also be a place that we want to spend more time in.
Yes.
I was always wondering, and I was thinking about this, what if we did extreme customization options? Like different color ship panels. I'm talking about different colored buttons inside of the ship.
Yeah,
the
I'm
way
fine
they
with that.
glow.
Let's put Gummy Ship Builder in this game.
Exactly, but all the way down to buttons, the way your cabin looks,
Jesus.
The way your like windshield's tinted. If you want the display panel to be buttons, or you want it to be holographic on the screen.
Sure. We'll make it super in depth, where it's like, man, they spent more time doing this ship builder.
They probably should have
than the game. I mean, fucking Starfield's doing that. You know what I mean? I can't wait for that part of Starfield. You could build your own ship, and it changes how the ship flies depending on how you build it. Hell yeah.
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, if you build a ship that can't fly, it's not going to fly.
Huh. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to be able to make Black Hole the best?
I looked it up. I'm going to give it to Hopu Games, Play Everywhere. They're the guys behind Risk of Rain. And Risk of Rain is a game I actually kind of forgot about. But oh my god, dude, is Risk of Rain 2 one of the best games I've ever played.
I think that, honestly, Insomniac Games would do really good. Now, don't get me wrong, this is close to Ratchet and Clank. It almost, like, in terms of the drones, the upgrades of the weapons, but instead you'd focus on a ship. I think they do a really good job while also being just like lit, like parallel without touching.
I'm gonna give it to Roll 7. Completely different from what they normally do, since they normally do games where, you know, you're usually rolling on wheels and stuff. But they just came out with a game called Rollerdrome, and I feel like the shooting mechanics of it is very similar to how I imagined the shooting mechanics would be in this game.
And then I'll also give it to Motive Studio, the people behind Star Wars Squadrons. If they wanted to branch out and make their own IP, I think this would be a great start. And they would also nail the whole start, like being in space, how it feels, and piloting a ship.
Yes.
And with that, our 122nd IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to give us extra support, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. For just $1, patrons receive episodes early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if they ask for a review instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Black Hole, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is AG.
And I'm Jay Yee.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, I haven't played any more Bug Snacks.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
It was hard going back.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
A lot of
I
stuff
don't
you have to
want to do. Yeah, and it's like, I don't want to do 4 steps to catch a bug anymore.
The things you would
Can't
do
it just be like Pokemon where you pummel them?
And for Digimon, but not for Bugsnax.
No, because I can beat up those animals into submission until they submit to me. Whereas Bugsnax, I gotta coerce them and use the environment.
You gotta trick them.
You gotta fucking trick them.